Hello and welcome to the Crooked Letter Sports Podcast, the show about Mississippi sports and the folks who play them. I'm Tyler Cleveland from Scorebook Live, Mississippi, joined by my co-host here, Mississippi Today scribe Rick Cleveland. Dad, I always start the show asking you how your weekend was, so how'd things go?
It went great. Yeah, it started Friday night at the Mayflower. It doesn't get much better than that.
That's right, a Jackson institution. For anybody from out of town who's ever dined out in Jackson, if you went anywhere else, I'm sorry. The Mayflower is by far the best seafood that I've had in this state. One of our true treasures.
It is without question, and that was just the start. It was a good weekend overall, except for Mississippi college basketball.
Yeah, it didn't go very well, and we're going to get into that today. I want to start out talking about my weekend was pretty filled with basketball. High school basketball, the region tournaments began. We're recording this on Tuesday morning. They began Monday night. They continue tonight and on into tomorrow, so we can get the field set for the big dance at the end. Not a whole lot of upsets last night. In fact, none that I saw, just browsing this morning. We got soccer playoffs began yesterday and continue through Wednesday in the second round. So there's just a lot. I had forgotten what February can be like. You know, everybody thinks that football season is your busy season, but, you know, in football season, we're really focusing on football. And this time of year, man, baseball is starting, soccer playoffs, basketball playoffs. It all kind of happens at the same time, so it can get a little hectic.
Yeah, I went out last Thursday night to MRA and saw MRA and JA, two really good high school basketball teams play. But while I was there was a soccer game going on at the football field next to the gymnasium. And then as I was walking in, I heard the familiar and welcome sounds of metal cleats hitting concrete with the baseball team coming in from practice. So, yeah, that showed what all's going on right now.
Yeah, it's a lot, and it's such a delicate balance to try to cover everything, and that's what we're trying to do at Scorebook Live. If you go over there right now, you'll see brackets for soccer and basketball, and we got live scoreboards going every night this week, which makes for some late nights for me, but it's fine. It's that time of year, and I think the kids deserve the recognition. So going over to scorebooklive.com/Mississippi for all your high school sports news. Dad, as you mentioned, a rough day of basketball Saturday for Mississippi. It seems like we are feast or famine right now when it comes to good basketball. What were your takeaways from the games this weekend? I know Ole Miss had a tough opponent and could not come out on top. But what were your impressions?
Well, it looked like to me that both Ole Miss and Mississippi State played teams that were better than they were. Particularly Alabama just swamped Mississippi State. It was, it was just not a good day. Not a good day at all. They got both teams need to win some games.
Yeah, it got beat by, looks like a combined 56 points by Alabama, and then Ole Miss against Auburn.
Ole Miss was at home, which is that's a loss and a half.
Well, Auburn is ranked 16th, Alabama 24th. Yet one more thing, we're falling behind Alabama in. But there's some big games this week, too. Like I said, this is Tuesday morning. Ole Miss plays a ranked South Carolina team tonight. A chance to bounce back. South Carolina only a 3.5-point favorite at home. And then Wednesday night, Georgia comes to the hump to face Mississippi State in one of those, it's an 8 p.m. game on the SEC Network, so no excuse not to tune into that one. There won't be anything else going on. But both teams 14-8, so a good measuring stick game for State. In your estimation, do they still have some work to do?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they definitely do. I think Ole Miss is in if they play right now. State would be firmly sneakers planted on the bubble.
Well, they've got, after this Georgia game, they're going to Missouri, a game they should win, and then they host Arkansas, another game they should win, and then they get their another shot at Ole Miss back at the hump. So I think, they got a chance these next 3 games to really right the ship. You can win all 3 of those somehow. You're back to 17-8. and looking pretty good with games at LSU and at home against Kentucky to go. So I think the next three are pretty make or break for them. Ole Miss plays a much tougher schedule down the pike here, I should say.
Down the stretch.
Yeah, down the stretch.
That's because they've played a much easier schedule
that's right.
early on.
Right. But they've got, let's see, Tuesday night, like I said, they're playing at Kentucky next Tuesday. Then they host that same Missouri team, the Mississippi State game, and then they finish up with ranked games at home back-to-back against South Carolina and Alabama. Not sure they're going to be able to pull out either one of those, so maybe stealing 2 of these next 4 would be a good recipe. That would get them to 20 wins. And you got to feel pretty good if you get to 20 wins.
In the SEC, probably so. I think that probably, but you're looking at probably a 8 or 9 seed.
Yeah,
10 seed.
That's what I was going to say is a 10.
Both teams need to play well down the stretch, that's for sure.
Absolutely. And then, of course, the big story this week is the Super Bowl. Set for Sunday. Line hasn't moved much. San Francisco, 1.5-point favorite, which is kind of surprising to me. At that point, it's pretty much a pick'em game. But considering the Chiefs won this matchup the last time they played in the Super Bowl, do you find it interesting that Las Vegas likes the 49ers?
Yes, because I would make it just the opposite. I would make the Chiefs 2 or 3 point favorite.
I was going to say more than 1.5 too. I'm kind of surprised by that. I think they're probably the more complete team and they have a better quarterback.
I just think they have the best player in the game.
Right.
The sport.
Which helps.
Well, Mahomes is just otherworldly. I mean, he really is. He's terrific. Great player.
Yeah. Have you seen the comparisons to Brady popping up all over everywhere?
Yeah. They're 2 totally different type players, but obviously both winners.
You look at them at this point in their career, I think Brady had more Super Bowls, but Mahomes is kind of blowing him out of the water in terms of statistics. Now, a lot of that may be because of when Tom Brady came along in his career, because at that point, when Drew Bledsoe retired, you could still cover the receivers.
You could still hold them and hit.
You could play defense. They allowed you to play defense in the NFL at that point instead of like the shadow boxing or whatever they're calling it now. This is ridiculous. But back then you could still play defense. So I don't know if the numbers are skewed or what. All I know is that Patrick Mahomes is a very special player who I think is as good as anybody who's ever done it.
He's as close to a magician quarterback as I've ever seen. He really is magical. Some of the things he does, some of the angles he throws from, some of the messes he gets himself out of, some of the plays he makes when it looks like there ain't a play there. I like Kansas City simply because I like him. And Purdy's been great. He's really been good, but he can't do some of the things that Mahomes can do.
No, I would say when the play breaks down is when you get to see the biggest difference between the two. And Purdy can make some things happen with his legs too. But Mahomes, he may not have to make it with his legs. He may shovel pass it or hit somebody with a bounce pass, backwards bounce pass, who knows. And then what we were noticing the other day is like on a play where there's like a low snap or something like that, or a high snap or whatever, Mahomes just turns into a shortstop and just scoops it up and continues about the play. Whereas a lot of teams, and I saw it a lot with the Saints this year, that would be the end of the play, and you just hope you don't turn it over.
He was a shortstop.
Yeah.
He was a major league prospect.
Damn good one, yeah.
Yeah, so, he's a different cat. I want to talk a little bit about, and maybe more than a little bit about the
topic we covered last week, the spectacle, the Taylor Swift.
Yeah, but it's reaching a point of absurdity. I don't get it. When you watch a University of Texas football broadcast, does anybody complain about them showing Matthew McConaughey 25 times during the game? When you watch an Ole Miss basketball game and the camera goes to Morgan Freeman 4 or 5 times during the game, do people complain about it? And yet, when the Kansas City Chiefs are playing and Taylor Swift's up in a box and the cameras go to her, there's suddenly an outcry about her even being there. I don't get it.
Yeah.
You do.
No, I do get it. I mean, I understand.
All right, well, let's hear it.
These people are mad. It has nothing to do with Taylor Swift. It has nothing to do with Taylor Swift or what she stands for or her. They're just angry in general. They need something to be angry about, and Taylor Swift is the chosen thing right now. And what's crazy about it is the people we're talking about, most of them proud Americans, right? But here's the deal. You have picked a fight with a Pennsylvania pop artist with Nashville roots who has just won her 4th Grammy for Album of the Year, a record, and her meathead boyfriend from Ohio who plays for the Kansas City Chiefs. I mean, I cannot think of a more, I mean, you know, she's going to the football game to support her boyfriend, and we can't get behind this?
I just do not get it.
And in general, as you were saying, I don't care who's at the game. You know what I mean? In fact, I would say that I spend less than 5 seconds thinking about who's at any given football game that I'm watching. And, you know, it's cool when they show I saw they show O'Toole at the 49ers game, a bass player from the Grateful Dead.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Couldn't help but wonder, who's he dating? Which 49er is he with, you know? If you really want to see some people's heads explode, we'll get to that point eventually. But no, I think it's people need something to be outraged about these days. And if I had any advice for you, if seeing Taylor Swift at the football game enrages you, just step outside. Just go out there in your front yard, feel the grass. It's okay. You're way too online. There's stuff going on around you and you don't even know it. Just find some friends that make you happy and just go hang out with them. Spend a delicate few just hanging out. It'll be okay, I promise. It's going to be all right.
And these conspiracy theories.
The NFL is rigged. We had a major party presidential candidate say that the NFL was rigged and that the Kansas City Chiefs were going to win, and that was a prelude to Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce coming out in a joint endorsement of Joe Biden. You got to understand, you watch these games, if they're scripted, they are doing a hell of a job pulling it off. I mean, this is like the World Wrestling Federation on steroids, the way this is scripted, if that's the way this is supposed to work. And who could remember? If you're a cornerback, how can you remember what you're supposed to do on any given play? How are you supposed to do that? It's like, all right, I'm supposed to cover him really close, but not too close because he's got to get loose on this one. You know what I mean? It's just the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life.
You can do it in pro wrestling where there's just 2 guys.
And even then, you know, we got like a maiming here and a death here. And, you know, it's not like it's, you know. So I try not to pay too much attention to that stuff. I know it's omnipresent because the way that the internet works is the more outrageous it is, the more it's in your face all the time. And then a lot of it is the media bias and when I say media bias, I don't think it's like left wing or right wing or anything like that. It's all biased towards salaciousness and intrigue. They want some kind of controversy to stir up so that they'll keep your eyeballs on it. But this is a big nothing. It's a nothing burger. Like I said, it's a girl from Pennsylvania with Nashville roots
who made $2 billion just on
I don't even care about that.
Year.
I don't even care about that because I'm going to let you in on a little bit of secret. I don't care for the music. It's fine. It's fine. It's all right. I'm all right with it. She's A-okay in my book. Has never done anything to wrong me. Yes, she lent her support to a presidential candidate in 2020.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So did thousands of other people. And like at this point, like I look back at my, you know, when I was a kid and I listened to like Kid Rock and I cringe a little bit, you know, but some of those songs were bangers and I'm not afraid to admit it, but I'm not going to like, you know, seek the guy out or anything, but it's not like I'm going to set him aside because of his political leanings. You guys are way too online. Like, let it go. It's fine. And just try to enjoy the game. And if it makes you mad when they put her on TV, just, look away or something, don't go online and berate some poor person who's a Taylor Swift fan. I mean, we're talking about teenage girls here. Like, I do think the NFL is missing an all-time opportunity to have Taylor Swift playing halftime at the Super Bowl, though, because you're talking about ginning up some real love and some real anger. Like, they could really dig into it. And I understand she's got a show in Tokyo the night before, so she's going to have to fly all night to get to the Super Bowl to make everyone's head explode.
Yeah, I read somewhere where her fandom of the Kansas City Chiefs has been worth $350 million in free advertising for the NFL.
Yeah, well, that's a lot of money. And I think that's why a lot of people would like to see her weigh into politics more. But, like I said, this isn't politics. And when it comes to time for her to endorse somebody in the presidential race, y'all can have that fight all damn day. When it comes to this football, let's just try to enjoy. We've got a great matchup in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, it is.
A great rematch. It ain't David and Goliath. It's Goliath on Goliath. These are fantastic football teams. And, I'm gonna tune in for more than just the spectacle.
Yeah, it should be really, really good. And can you believe we're playing a Super Bowl in Las Vegas?
Yeah, I can. I could see us. I mean, obviously, there's going to be a lot more football in Las Vegas going forward, and I feel like there's, it's obviously a good market for the NFL. The weather is not so bad there this time of year, so can understand that. The one thing I never understood was trying to play it, somewhere in the Northeast or Midwest or something like that.
Basic rule of thumb, if you can't grow a palm tree there, they ought not play a Super Bowl there.
Or any bowl game. I would dig right in on that if you want to. But no, I think it ought to be a destination. In Las Vegas, I can't think of a more destination location to play a game. LA, Miami, Las Vegas. So it makes sense to me.
New Orleans,
fantastic. You're right, venue, and more so because it's inside. Because right now you could very well draw a rainy day and it'd be miserable in New Orleans. But the Dome Stadium kind of fixes all that.
I saw them inside and outside New Orleans, and I had fun at every one of them.
Yeah, that's right. Let me ask you this: when they switched to the Dome, what did that do to the price of the beer?
Well, everything went up. Yeah. I mean, it's just Super Bowl has super prices too.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I was going back and listening to some of do you remember Abdul, the tent maker? For folks that don't know, when the Saints countdown to kickoff, they used to have this guy. First, he was Abdul from the West Bank. And then after Katrina, he was Abdul from Pascagoula. and then I think he moved back, and he used to sing these songs about the Saints. And one of his songs was, it was to the tune of other songs, and this one was called Amazing Saints. And it was, amazing saints, come back to us. You're what has brought us here. It damn sure ain't these ticket prices and the $7 beers. And I was listening to it, and I was like, $7? Whoa!
What a bargain!
This is the most 2016 song I've ever heard, because it's $12 for a beer in the Super Bowl now. So in Superdome. So no, I can't imagine, and you've been to so many Super Bowls over the years. I've never been to one, never had any desire to go to one, really. It seems like, for me, when your team's in the game, the place you would want to be is either on the 50-yard line or in the city, that could be celebrating a Super Bowl that night.
Well, famously, for our family, when the Saints won the Super Bowl, I was in the press box down in Miami, and the rest of my family was in a bar on Charter Street in New Orleans.
The first time I watched that Super Bowl at Harry's Corner Bar right off the Jackson Square, and the first time I talked to you that night, I was at Coop's. It was 1:00 in the morning, and I was at Coop's. And I hopped down off a table to take your phone call, and I was telling you about the crazy scene and everybody, you know, high-fiving the strangers and kissing strangers and all this, and you were like, yeah, I was thinking about stopping by. The media guys are getting together at the Applebee's next to the media hotel or something, and you were getting together with a couple other writers.
I closed down the last bar on Miami Beach at like 4:30 in the morning with Peter Finney. It was
there you go.
It was a great night.
Good. I'm glad you had a big night. I'm going to say that city was.
I'd rather been in New Orleans.
City was on fire. It was fantastic. It was the most fun I've had celebrating a football game in my life. But that's all beside the point, Dad. I wanted to ask you your take. Who is going to win this game and why?
Kansas City's going to win because of Patrick Mahomes.
It was the easiest.
Or Taylor
answer.
Swift. I'm
I
not
was
sure
about
which.
to say you can't just cut it short. Obviously, the entire game is about this relationship.
Yeah.
So I think what happens next is the Chiefs definitely have the upper hand in this game. I think that if the Chiefs win, the couple should be allowed to stay together, and if they lose, it's over with. I think let's put some serious stakes on this thing. And more than that, I think they should be playing for Taylor Swift's presidential endorsement. If San Francisco wins, Taylor Swift has to don a MAGA hat. But if Kansas City wins, she's riding with Biden. What do you think?
That's fine with me. It seems like an awful lot of importance to be placed on the outcome of a football game.
It's pretty insane.
Yeah,
it's pretty insane that we're at this point, but this is what it is.
And
we're making fun and everything, but I really do think it'll be a good ball game.
It will be.
And I'm putting the over under on images of Taylor Swift at 50.
Right. One more thing we need to talk about today. I went out last Thursday night and saw the number 1 ranked 8th grader in the country play basketball.
Mm-hmm.
He's 13 years old. He's 6'9". He's Eric Dampier's son, and he's the real deal. He's going to be freaking fantastic.
Well, he's in the right spot over there at MRA. They got it rocking and rolling. I know JA's got him a couple times this year because of Mo Williams' kids.
Yeah, they're terrific too.
Yeah, the Williams brothers are fantastic. I think he's in the right spot. I think you're right. I think he is going to be a star. I mean, it's one of those kids that, you don't want to put this much pressure on him, and every career is only as fragile as a knee. But the upside on Dampier is through the roof.
He's 13. His voice is just now changing. He's got better hands, better shot than his dad ever had. If nothing happens, he could be in what would that be, 2028?
I'm sure you did the math for the column.
2028, he could be the number 1 prospect in the country. He will be, probably.
Yeah, he might be. Well, big men are just so, rare, especially ones that aren't like skinny as a rail.
Yeah, well, he's grown 2 inches since school started. He's 6'9". He's 13. I think he's going to be 7'1", something like that. When he plays with 8th graders, they say he brings the ball down the floor. He can play the point.
Well, he's playing with 8th graders at 6 and 8. He pretty much do what he wants, I would imagine.
Whatever he wants.
Right.
Yeah.
I wonder what those scores look like. I'm going to have to go to a middle school game some point.
Well, supposedly his second grade brother.
He's playing varsity, so that doesn't count, yeah.
Eric Dampier, besides having a son and daughter that both play for the MRA varsity, they've got a second grade son named Derek.
What position does he play for the varsity?
Wherever. Well, he doesn't play for the varsity yet. But in a game the other day, supposedly his team won 40-25, and he scored 37.
Yeah. I'm starting to see a pattern, and maybe not so fair. Well, I thought he did. I saw MRA play Raymond earlier this year, and I thought he played admirably well, considering he was going against E.J. Payman, who is probably the best big man we have in the MHSA this year.
5 years older.
He's 5 years older, and he's a bona fide college prospect. I can't imagine what it's going to be like a couple of years, 2028, when Dampier is that guy who's been doing it for 4 years like that. I think they've got a chance to be really special over the last couple of years, or the next couple of years. And I'm interested to see, how long Coach DeWeese wants to do it. I mean, he's been doing this. We've had him on the show. He's a treasure for Mississippi high school basketball and has been for a long time. I want to say he's been coaching for like 60 years.
Well, he's been coaching for almost 50.
Almost 50.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, you go in that gymnasium and it takes the whole end of the gym to list all the state championships they've won.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. It's one of those things where I would write about it, but I already have, and if I did it again, I'd run out of space.
Yeah.
I mean, he's
really good at what he does.
Absolutely. And it doesn't hurt when you have a couple of Dampiers lying around, or a Josh Hubbard before that. And,
the only other 8th grader he's ever played, the only other 8th grader that's ever played for his varsity was Josh Hubbard, and we've seen what he's doing right now.
Decent player. Yeah. Great high school player, really good college player.
As a freshman.
Yeah. Well, that's all the time we got this week. Guys, if you watch the Super Bowl, try not to get too worked up, and we'll talk to you on the other side next week.
And remember, if Taylor Swift gets on the screen, all you got to do is turn it off.
Or look away. Just turn your head. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
Have a safe one out there, everybody.